I'm so glad to see more and more people using dash cameras in their vehicles these days, as video never lies in the unfortunate incident of a fender bender. Sometimes you can just use one for capturing some footage for your budget film project to use as B-roll. Today we're looking at the Kingslim D4 4K dual dash camera with GPS. 4K up front, and the rear is in 1080p. It has a 3-inch IPS touchscreen for easy navigation of the menu system, and the screen is very bright to see what you're recording. GPS data is imprinted onto the video file, so no need for additional software. Now, it can be used with an app, but as you know, I'm not very fond of third-party apps, so I won't be showing that. It can take up to a 256 gigabyte SD card, has a built-in lithium-ion battery that can operate between -4 degrees Fahrenheit all the way up to 140 degrees Fahrenheit. Now, as you may know, I live in Texas where it's unreal how hot that it can get. So I've had this in my truck for the past 4 weeks, and I really wanted to test it out to see how it performed, and it performed flawlessly. The front lens has a 170 degree field of view and an f1.8 aperture lens, and uses a Sony IMX335 Starvis sensor. And it also uses a high silicon HI3559 processor for real 4K at 30 frames per second. Now pair that with the f1.8 aperture lens, it should perform very well in low light, and we'll test that shortly. Now, while this does come with 2 cameras, the rear camera is one that you have to mount to the outside of your vehicle, and then you've got to tap it into the 12-volt power supply at the tail lights. And that's something I just don't want to do, so you won't be seeing any footage from the rear camera. So let's do a quick little audio test from inside my truck. Alright, quick little audio test of this Kingslim D4. I'm approximately 3 feet behind the dash camera inside the truck with it running. Quick little audio test, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Now, the video footage that you're looking at is in 4K 30 frames per second. It records at 22 megabits per second, which is a pretty low bit rate for a 4K file. But, for giggles, let's just compare it to the GoPro Hero 8 in 4K in a side-by-side for just quality comparison. And now with that out of the way, let's take a look at some nighttime video samples. Now, license plates can be made out pretty easy during the daytime. Low light night shots on license plates, well, it's pretty much blown out and unreadable. Now it's time to talk about the pros and cons of this Kingslim D4. Pros, well, it's very easy to set up, and it has a very nice build quality, and I like the fact that it has a little static film that will attach to the windshield, so it makes that very easy to attach. It has GPS, and it acquires a signal very fast, which to me is very impressive. Now, the video quality is pretty decent from this dash camera's front camera in 4K. You can see some sharpening that was added, which I personally am not a fan of, but the colors look nice and there's no choppy video or drop frames. Now let's get to the cons. First con for me is the price. At $139, I think it's a bit overpriced in my opinion. Next con is going to be the low megabits per second on the 4K video files, which results in blotchy looking video at times and banding in the sky, but that's not a huge deal breaker. My big con is the rear camera. I would rather have it mounted to the inside of the rear window like many other dash cameras instead of the hassle of wiring it up to the rear of my truck. So, nice little dash camera for Kingslim. As always, product links in the description below, and I'll see you in the next review. Bye-bye.